Oh, fuck, I've gone live.
And he's gone.
Brilliant.
Welcome to Transformers the Show, episode 175. You're obviously height of professionalism here. We've got Alpha as a guest, but she's obviously Ian with a short haircut, you know. But yeah, yes. But anyway, Transformers the Show 175 is a desperate look for the intro.
May I have your attention, please? This is the captain of your ship! I'm sorry. Please stop this away! You left me broken hearted! But I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway. No, I never loved you anyway.
So welcome back, episode 175. We've got a lot of news tonight, action-packed. We'll be also talking about TF Nation, some TF UK con news, and we'll be discussing what our favourite Prime is. I think that was what we were doing. And
I think
a
it's
discussion...
Yeah.
Yeah, movie Prime. My favourite movie, Optimus Prime, which doesn't really give us much of an option, really. And because there's only going to be a right answer and everything else is wrong. But
Isn't that always the way?
yeah. And a big discussion tonight is what do we want from Transformers? What does the future hold from Transformers? Where do we want Transformers to go? So basically now it's the news.
I talk some TV, and now the news. Don't touch that dial.
Just in case anybody's wondering where Alexis is, I just want to point out that he's just sent a message to our chat saying that he's just lost a child and he'll be a minute. So that's where we are tonight.
That sounds more belief than it's meant
He's
to.
lost a child. It's perfectly.
Good
That's
God.
perfectly
Another
normal.
one?
Yeah, it's fine. You've got a couple more, Alexis. You'll be fine. You don't worry about it.
Spares.
Anyway, where were we? Oh, news. Yeah, Legacy Bombshell has been leaked. And off the top of my head, because I haven't got it open on my phone like I normally do, I cannot remember who it was who shared this. It's often that Sonic Bomber, but I don't think it was this time. Anyway, we have some in-hand photos of it. I'll dig out where they came from later on if I can find it. And there he is. Insecticons almost, well, they will be complete once he's out.
He looks awesome for it, doesn't he?
He really does.
That's not bad. Yeah. I've never owned any
Have that third
Insecticons.
party.
I've never had any intention to buy any Insecticons, but I might
You
be
should
tempted.
buy these ones. You should, just to try them, because if you don't like them, you'll definitely be able to sell them on.
Yeah, I've never been that wild on them. Insecticons in general. It's just always been cannon fodder, but they do look good in this line.
Do you know, I was never much of a fan myself. Even though I liked them, I remember distinctly being a little kid and watching the episode that they were first in of the G1 series, first series of the cartoon, and that episode they were in when they were introduced. And it's only as I've gotten older that I've really started to actually appreciate them. Now I've got, a few versions, but this looks really, really good.
For me, it was when IDW made Bombshell like really sinister.
Oh,
that I started,
yeah.
I started looking at Bombshell a bit differently.
Yeah, I'm sure you've read those panels where I think it's Megatron's talking to him, and he's kind of asking him, what is your mission? And he just says something like carnage or pain or torment. That's it. And he just tilts his, and it's so creepy but wonderful. I love it.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. So Legacy Shrapnel is coming along fairly soon, just like Alexis. Right. For all you you gaming connoisseurs, Fortnite now has the Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal skins available. I think they're available through Battle Pass with a load of other gubbins that you can get, and also just if you want to buy the skins separately. So for those of you who enjoy a bit of Fortnite, as I know many of us and our viewers do, you can get yourself on there. I didn't actually find a picture of the Optimus Prime. I've seen a few little clips and GIFs that people have been sharing on social media, but I didn't find the picture of it. But anyway, there is. Go on.
Yeah, I bought it this morning. Shamelessly.
Because the Optimus Primal is the movie one, Rise of the Beast, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not
So
the traditional one.
No, it's beast skins, as you would see. You can buy Primal in the shop, buy it outright, but Prime is the level 100.
So he is just the battle pass. There you go. My son was showing me this beforehand. In fact, Lucas was wanting to come on the show on the news just to introduce this bit and talk about it. But I managed to dissuade him just for now. Yeah. Anyway, where were we? Right. So this is the Legacy Transformers Prime universe Dreadwing. So the brother of Skyquake in Transformers Prime, at least. It's a repaint, but I know, again, seems to be a lot of people who are fans.
And hopefully, if you've watched an excellent video done by a member of our team, you should be able to transform this character.
Indeed. Not the first excellent video done by a member of our team to help the community transform things without breaking them or cutting things off. There you go. And it looks
Sorry, even though, is this the right color scheme for the cartoon you mentioned?
He's muted again.
You've muted yourself. Oh, you are muted.
Why am I muted? Is that better?
Well, I think you muted yourself somehow. Anyway, if you're asking about the color scheme, this is the color scheme from Transformers Prime. So
yes,
this is when he appeared in Transformers Prime.
In Transformers Prime, did he have two? He had two. He was a twin, was he? Basically?
Yeah, they were twins. So Skyquake came into the series first. Spoiler alert. He carks it. And then his brother is supposedly drawn to the Earth because he feels the death of his spark mate, and it comes.
I'm just going to say this, Alexis. There's sound coming through your mic from the background, so sort it. Thanks.
And anyway, so I think that looks nice. I'd probably get it because I like the first version, and I know, Jamie, you were a fan. I think I'm right in saying, of the Skyquake that we just had.
Yeah. I mean, I just think it'll be. I think it's going to be a figure most people are really going to like, and I think it's again an amalgamation of best of two worlds. Although I think a lot of people in the G1ers are, maybe not too happy because it looks a bit too much like Prime for their liking. Even though the alt mode definitely looks very much like the original incarnation of the character. But was his twin the original G1 figure?
Dreadwing wasn't. There's been versions of Dreadwing. Since,
but not G1,
not in G1, but since G1. But it is more of a Prime character, and I still think, as I know we've discussed before, that there's a good chance we're going to get that Skyquake, and as it is now Dreadwing mold, done maybe with a different head sculpt to be more G1.5 or G1 or whatever you want to call it. And I'd definitely buy that again. I'll just buy them all. Why the hell not? Dead Prowl or Dying Prowl or Battle Damage Prowl or whatever the hell he's called, and this is it. Apparently leaked photos of it, and I don't know why I felt a bit underwhelmed. Not that it looks a bad figure as such, but just I was kind of expecting something a bit more dramatic than just a bit of chest damage and a slightly terrified look on his face.
It looks pretty piss poor, to be honest, doesn't it?
That section just stands out. It doesn't look like an actual battle wound. It just looks like there's a bit of dirt on it, and it's the lines are too clean.
I mean, does that look like it's got a port, for the sort of like,
his electric car now.
Blast effect
charging him.
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah, could be an actual blast effect port.
Could be a blast
That'd
effect
be
that you stick
interesting
on the chest. Well, I said in the chat, didn't I? I said they missed a trick by not painting his mouth orange.
Yeah,
for that horrible recreation. But the thing is, he looks like something's just going to fall out of a shelf, and he can't get there to catch it in time. It doesn't look like it's impending death. It looks like a mild inconvenience.
Yeah, he looks like injured Pearl, doesn't he? He doesn't.
Oh shit!
Look
We just left the
Sorry, are we now judging people on how they die and if it's not dramatic enough? Is that what you're doing?
Yes.
I mean, we're numb to it in
now.
Transformers, aren't we? With Optimus, so yeah, we're pretty up to snuff on it. Yeah.
You're judging. You're always
Borders, dude. Light piping would not have made a difference because light piping sucks and never works.
That's me for the night.
Light piping. Anyway, let's move on. Are we doing the hands thing again? Right. This is YOLO Park, so this is official, right? This is YOLO Park.
Yes.
Optimus Primal, based on the Rise of the Beast movie. I mean, it's pretty fierce looking.
This is a figure, isn't it? It's licensed out, isn't it? By Hasbro.
It's a model kit. It's a model kit. The model kit.
It still looks good, though.
Difference between this
It does look awesome.
Oh my god, what's that?
So Yellow Park have
thing?
the.
I want one of them. Masterpiece.
Concentrate on the monkey.
Sorry.
That looks like a Japanese anime that I've watched before. Okay, anyway, I'll come back to that later. I never saw it. I rented it from Blockbusters at the time. It was like.
Have you been drinking tonight?
Come back to it later.
Because you just
He may have been because he blended something.
A new level of fish tonight.
So I haven't got. So Yellow Park are doing a.
Alexis is breaking up. I think he's going through a tunnel. Could we just got a the news? Like, let's go.
Yellow Park are doing 20 centimeter up.
I think he was actually telling us the news.
It actually was.
It was actually about this, so we could.
They're doing Bumblebee and they're doing Optimus Prime. So Yellow Park do model kits, not just action figurines like 3LX. Who is it? 3DX? No,
you mean? Oh, these guys. Oh,
yes.
God, you know, I've looked in the settings. I cannot get this thing to stop.
Almost
so it's like this, but they actually are. You build them yourselves, and they are then fully articulated. That they and 3LX 30 do this as well, right? But Yellow Park, the new boy in town, the new game face. So this is the 7-inch variety. If 7 inches is your size, you like 7 inches, this is your boy. If you wanna.
Who doesn't enjoy 7 inches, eh? John will love this because if there's one thing he really likes, it's a white Ultra Magnus. I mean, it's like his favorite thing in the world, I think.
Only behind
the party one he bought recently.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It has to be suspicious.
Anyway, there you go. So there it is. MDLX
Scale.
Ultra Magnus. 17.8 centimeters. If you just pose it on your hand like we all do, just like that, that's all right.
Average. Is that how you have your hands? And then obviously the back shot.
A back shot for Alexis because we always finish on a back shot, don't we?
We do. Everyone finishes.
You have hold of your Transformers facing the wall.
That can't be true. You've got 3 kids, Alexis. Anyway, moving on. This is the Takara colours of the Nemesis, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's a slightly different colour, basically. It's a lighter, kind of more pinkish purple compared to the Hasbro.
It's hard to tell, wasn't it, with a photograph in the light?
Yeah. Be interesting to see them side by side.
More opaque.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Cyclonus's colours. A little bit.
I mean, it does make you wonder how much more expensive the Takara version will be, though, because of the Hasbro version is about 220. Does that mean the Takara version, just because of import alone, is going to be about 250, 280?
Well, are they bringing back the days of that Takara paint job that was just, let's be honest, not always, but often a little bit better than the Hasbro one, and people would pay.
They already have, haven't they? They've basically done that with their premium.
Although
which have been out for a couple of years now.
I don't always find that appealing to me. Like it's slightly better
for a higher standard of chug collector, isn't it?
Is this your way of telling me you've bought them all, Jamie?
No.
Are we going to see a picture of that meme of yours with the guy on the balcony looking down on the?
I'm just hoping I've got the right TFUK video, which Alexis is obviously not added to the stream. Like he said, he would.
Oh, the one that is downloaded, so we can use it for.
We'll
get to that.
Alexis, just shh. Good. Let me finish talking, Alexis, and then I will listen to you. But before that, let's just see if this video is working. So obviously that's Simon Furman, who's going to be one of our first guests for TFUK Con 2024, celebrate 40 years of Transformers history. And it's going to be new guests, I think, getting revealed every week or every so often.
True.
That's it. Now you can
Big
talk
news,
Alexis.
Is that the video? Yeah,
I hope so because we just played it.
Excellent.
Good. Good. So I've got a couple more that I have, which to share later on pickups. No, don't pick up on the news. Sorry, which
I've got a funny feeling you're going to have disconnection problems.
I just saw the look on Jamie's face as you said that. The stare of death.
Are we going back to the news or?
Yes, might as well carry on the news. You started.
Yes,
so,
well, so we'll finish.
Call it unconventional.
Anyway, so it's been announced, hasn't it, about the new home for the Transformers and G.I. Joe comics. Here we are. So it was unclear, and we now finally have some details, and it's Image Comics, I believe. Who did we have on the other week who actually said it's going to be Image Comics? Jamie, was it you?
Yeah, but isn't this been like the open secret for the last 6 or 8 months?
Well, you say that, but at 11:40 a.m. on June the 9th, they shared the news on the website. So, it's been an open secret, but it's like when Haaland signed for Man City. Everybody knew it was coming, but then suddenly he's there. Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. So we're getting that, and that also...
Apparently there was some reveal or spoiler, which some people were talking about complaining, but I didn't want to read too much into it in case it did spoil it for me. So I was just like... I think I'll avoid this conversation right now.
Right. Yeah. Well,
is this Image Comics? Is this just for G.I. Joe, or is this going to be basically taking
G.I. Joe Transformers?
It's going to be a mix. Yeah, we're starting with G.I. Joe and Transformers. So I assume then they'll go for a Transformers storyline of all of their very own. Yeah. Anyway, this is what they're called? These ones. Thing. No, Red. Not Red. Super 7 reaction figures. So there's some new ones. It's new.
They've really messed up our hands, haven't they? Dear God, they just
I don't like just bashing figures for no reason, right? But I do not understand what the appeal of these is. They don't look like they have the articulation. They don't look very good. Full stop. I just don't get why anybody would look at this.
Well, they did a good job of removing any female characteristics from that figure at all. So
to me, it doesn't even look like the character. I mean, obviously, he resembles it a bit, but it's just, and it's not even about the boobs. Is it
just a cheap soft dildo? Like, I don't know how much dildos cost these days, but I'm pretty sure they cost more than 50 quid.
I mean, you could use it as that if you want, Alexis, but I mean, some of them are going to be pointy.
I think you should use it as a butt plug. Personally, Alexis.
You just want to get a bit. You want to get a bit of research for your quiz for TFUKCon, don't you?
That's a disturbingly fleshy-looking weapon. What is that?
Yeah, it's actually meant to be like that. It is.
It?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's a rabbit hole you don't want to go down.
All right.
Is that a brain in there? Is that an actual brain in there?
Yeah.
More or less.
Why? What sort of sick monster?
We haven't got time to go into the what ifs and whys, Jamie. Just accept it's there and move on.
We could make time for this debauchery.
Moving on swiftly.
If you wanted to invest in Beast Wars, Jamie, you would have done it by now. Now you've got some excitement because you see the fleshy bits. Now you want to invest.
I mean, he's actually.
If you're going to get into Beast Wars, this is not your opening into Beast Wars. Please, for the love of God, do not make this your opening.
Anyway, maybe they look good in the package, I suppose, if you were sticking them like on the display. I don't know. If you buy them, good for you. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, my boys would play with these guys, right? Because they'd love an action figure. But for 50 quid a pop, I'm not going to buy them.
Oh, these ones aren't 50 quid, are they? No, you're thinking of the other ones. You're thinking of.
Are these cheap? What it is? It's because you've unbuttoned too many buttons in your shirt and your intelligence is leaking out.
This is the right amount of buttons.
Intelligence is leaking out.
Yeah, put a button back on and that IQ will start to raise again.
Hang on.
Or undo a button and see what happens.
So how much are these things?
And then rewind about 3 hours so you drank less at the cricket club, and all that will help in the long term. How much are them? I think they're about £15-20, aren't they? In like Forbidden.
I think we should make a public announcement. I think people should know Alexis was meant to saw all this stuff tonight, but he didn't do anything.
Oh, Jamie.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry. When someone says they're sorry, they never mean it. And he's just drinking. He's drinking more.
Does anybody have the capability? Because I can't. Have we been doing it already? Sorry, I may have missed it because on my screen, most of my screen is taken up by the pictures of the news. But have we been had a chance to highlight any of the comments? I'm sure wonderful.
Oh yes, we have.
Appearing in YouTube. Oh, that's.
I think most people are just clapping. Yeah.
Jamie said he was gonna do it.
Okay.
Jamie told me he was going to do it, so I said not
I
to.
don't know why
So-
Darkman is showing hands.
Anyway.
I think he's.
I think
he's
is
just
it because
proud he's
of
got-
Alexis's
Andy?
handiness that was going on?
Well,
Is
I
it-
think
is
it's
this-
because he's got 5 digits and he's pleased about that. I think,
Is this third party?
Yes, this is third party, mate. Sorry, we're
Believe it or not, this is the fun part.
Good.
it's your turn. Time to shine, Alexis. Go.
Oh, really? Oh, fuck. Who is this?
You don't know what this is, do you?
Is this Iron Factory? Is it Iron Factory?
I want to say it's Iron Factory. and
We've
it's,
seen
Prowl.
Iron Factory
Prowl.
Prowl this week, haven't we?
It's Prowl. It's Prowl, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Iron
definitely
Factory
Prowl.
Is it?
I'll
is
look
there
back through the news.
is-
Do we get it? Iron
they-
Factory Prowl, in it blood,
Yeah.
as Paul said when he shared it.
Okay, so they did
that's
this.
a direct quote.
They did a samurai version. They've done a slightly less samurai version. So they did. I've actually did do the racing bros. What they do? The Datsun Bros. They did Racing Bros with Sideswipe and Sunstreaker. They did Datsun Bros as well, and they're now re-releasing a slightly different mold of their Datsun Bros, which is the first one's going to be Prowl. And this is New Age. And New Age have ripped off, I think, personally, X-Transbots. X-Transbots, remember that X-Transbots did the version of a Masterpiece version of Grapple as Bulkhead. Well, New Age have ripped it off, and I think it's very good.
I just assumed this was the same company because it looks exactly the same.
No,
Very
there's
similar. But New Age do that, don't they? They've taken like Quietus and Sovereign Fans Toys molds and basically shrunk them down.
But the difference between New Age and X-Transbots is X-Transbots had the ladder for Grapple and Inferno out the back, and New Age did the same thing as Masterpiece, and inserted the ladder into his back, so you don't see anything at the back at all. So this is a very clean mold, and the paint will be better, and it'll probably stand up better than X-Transbots.
I'm going to say two things.
At a legend scale.
I prefer, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a chug collector. If I thought this looked better, I'd just say it. But I'd prefer the look of the Hasbro version. But also, what's the jawline thing about? Because his jawline doesn't really look like that in any iteration.
He looks like he's a reject.
That looks
from
more
He-Man,
like
right?
What was
It's
the
got
character?
Trapjaw.
Cybertron.
Trapjaw.
Yeah, well, he does look like Trapjaw, but he's not from Transformers Cybertron.
I mean,
but yeah,
let's just be honest.
He-Man,
It's
it's He-Man.
horrendous, doesn't it?
Oh,
I mean,
sorry,
he's got
yeah.
these two
Master of the
big,
Universe.
huge things coming out of his back. What the fuck? What is that? I just no.
So the X-Trans,
It's pish, isn't it?
Panels.
So if you Google Jamie
Panel,
X-Transbots bulkhead, you'll get something similar.
It
And
looks
it's a
pish. It looks like he's got staples coming out his back. 2 staples.
It's a
I don't
nice
know.
idea. Okay,
Guys, just before you
Nice
move on,
ideas. Don't
before
win
you move
Toms.
on, before you move on, Charlie in
sorry.
the chat said that it's the animated style.
But he didn't have a mouth like that. He did not have a mouth like that. That literally.
Maybe more about the
Trapjaw.
backpack.
It wasn't like
Jamie,
that.
are you in chat?
Massive
Oh, man,
underbite.
chat.
I'm sorry. No.
I've been doing chat,
nay,
Alexis.
and thrice nay. I've said it now. Charlie.
Trying to match
Control
up the
yourself.
chat with comments.
Right.
right.
Alexis, remind me what this is. I know it's obviously Superion, but which one is it?
This is
Dreamstar Toys.
Dreamstar Toys.
Dreamstar Toys. This is their, and they've done this about 3 or 4 times. They've changed it ever so slightly, and they're putting more color in every now and then. So you can see the red chest, the horns now on his helmet are yellow as well, and there's more yellow in certain places. It looks good.
Hang on. Is this literally the same toys but with a bit more paint on, and they're going to sell them all again, or is this in development and we haven't had any of them yet?
That's
We've had
good
two.
point, actually,
Two. We've had two.
Yeah.
We've had two. 2 of them
Right.
released. We've had an arm and a leg.
And did
And
they
we've got
think
that-
well?
Silver-ish. They look more like Bumblebee verse, and they now have the torso on pre-order. Unfortunately, the arm is really good. The leg is really shit.
Right.
So it's like everyone's like, what's it gonna be?
We've had a request for Alexis to button up his shirt because it's causing some people to go blind because of the reflection of the light off his clearly waxed chest.
Is
Is
it that? I thought it was the shirt because on my screen when I look at
it's all going like
his
yeah,
shirt is
he's-
reacting and
He's been
So,
told that
is-
before as well.
Am I is shirt on or off? What you want to do?
Yeah,
Ian,
take
do you
your
wanna
shirt
handle
off
this one?
and swap it for something else because
Alright.
you're causing that weird effect.
Whilst
I'm
we're
going to remove
going
you
away
until
from
it's
wax
sorted.
chests, there you go. Right, the wax chest brigade is sorted out. This is
do
Kenny
it.
Toys
I'll do
Mini.
it.
Alexis,
No, you're too busy with your shirt.
You place your shirt.
This
I like my
Toys
shirt.
mini version.
Alexis, your shirt is clashing with the screen.
So Fur Mini.
So this is the mini one, right? This is the
legend scale.
Right there.
What I found was quite interesting was that
Wrong button.
Who what? All right, bye. What I found interesting is that when Kang Toys did the Masterpiece version, this was the first one they did. And now when they've gone through a legend scale, this is like the 5th one. So they're further down the line. And
No. The fourth. This is the 4th one.
We have Razorclaw already shown.
Sorry. Yes, you're correct. Sorry, you mean? Sorry, I mean released. Sorry, so they've released Tantrum
production prototype shop. Yeah.
Yes, you are correct. You're correct, Beardfire.
Oh dear.
But yeah, that's it's coming out in legend scale, and I know a few people that are actually going in for this set, much more so than a bigger set. Yeah, if you want to have a mini Predaking legend scale, go for it.
Oh, sorry, I'm not laughing at you, Ian. I'm laughing at the fact Paul said
something
to our chat, and it's about why Alexis's shirt is reacting. It's the scientific explanation. Paul is, I shouldn't say this on a live broadcast, but Paul is driving, right? How is he doing this?
It's like we tell him that, and
he's in service station.
Just,
my shirt is no longer reflecting. Deal with my voice.
Deal with
it. You're such a dick.
Anyway, right, let's move on. Your attitude, girlfriend.
What's
this?
Oh, sorry. Someone in the chat has just asked. Sorry, Alexis. Someone in the chat has asked: are the Kang Toys Transformers expensive? Masterpiece, yes-ish. Legends ones, I'm actually not familiar.
It's subjective, right? Price is subjective, right? It depends on your. On
it depends if you've got money or not. Yes, I understand that.
So it depends if you're the wealthy elite or just the working class scum, like yourself.
So the Legend Scale versions are £45.
Just give them the price.
Just give them the 50 quid. I'm going to say 50 quid, which is
Legends are £45 each plus postage, and the adult and the Masterpiece versions are £80 each.
Is this Fans Hobby? Or is this MK Toys? No, MK Toys Skyfire.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So MK Toys Skyfire and
right. What is this? Is this Chug Scale or what is this? I don't
know.
You're supposed to be the third party expert, but you keep
no. I saw this.
I think it might be Chug Scale ish. Because some of the parts fit on Chug.
It looks like an upscale New Age. It looks like upscale New Age.
Well, this is just it. First of all, it's Jetfire, so he's going to be a big lad, whatever size he's in. So it could be a Legend scale, but that could easily be a leader class.
Why is he blood very Optimus Prime?
It's not naked.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, they blood.
We don't want to get.
Is that MP44 or is that a mini version?
Yeah, no, it's MP44. It's MP44.
You can't tell because they pixelated the bloody
thing. Pixelated it.
You can tell. They blurred this, and they blurred. Look, and they.
What's he got in his arms? What's a weird test tube?
It's part of the bits that come with it.
No,
I'm sure it is.
No, it's new. You're right, Ian. You're right. It's New Age. Yeah. It's New Age because if you go back to Soundwave and the white Soundwave, and those are both New Age, and they're New Age.
Yeah, and I think you're right.
There you go.
But why have they given the?
Do you know? I'm just thinking. If only we wrote down the information next to the pictures like we used to do when we.
There wasn't information. There wasn't information with this. There wasn't information, right? What this is a pixelated vision, right? And
hang on. When you found the photos, they were just floating in nothingness with no explanation, no person
in the ethos,
no description of any kind.
Yeah, I think
is that what you're telling us?
Telling the truth.
Do you know what? I have.
Go
actually...
on, Alexis. Go on.
You know what? I need more wine. That's what you're about to say. That you need more wine.
I need more wine.
No. When there were photos, so other photographs I've ripped from Dame Chock, right? Because again, it was relevant to show.
True, behave yourself.
Ripping from Dame Chock. This man does not represent our legal view. Right. Let's move on.
Dame Chock shares my post, so I'm not affiliated with this. It needs to be a share. Thank you very much.
Oh, you've got so burned now, Ian. Anyway, Fans Hobby MB24 robot mode test shot. Sticking the colours on Darkwing, as most of us in the Western world would call him. And I always forget which one of Buster or Hydra this is. I want to say Buster, but I'm probably wrong.
Do you know? I've liked seeing these sort of the slow updates in this, and normally I do not like third party, but looking at this character, he does look good, and I think a lot of people are going to be pleased.
When they release this in the actual kind of Western G1 colors, yeah, I'm not going to be able to not buy it. I mean, I am, because it might cost a fortune, but still, I'll find a way. I've still got some body parts I can sell. What's this? Rising Force Toys RFL series Combiner Head Menasor and RFL01 Creep.
So this was originally going to be Masterpiece scale. Then they realised we can't do it in Masterpiece scale. And they shrunk it down to Legend scale. And yeah, you've got a Menasor head and a drag strip, and that's pretty much the size of it.
And then we got quite a few of these, haven't we? Because aren't the most no, they're kind of recolors, aren't they? So we've got Backdraft, which is
New Age again. New Age. So again, EX version, which is the metallic version. Grapple again, metallic version.
Yeah.
So again, if you want to look at
the hang on, metallic version. That means we've had this as a toy already, and they've just given it some metallic paint instead of just the normal paint.
So it's
New Age.
You have the goal to mock Hasbro for repaints. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, but if you
look New Age are the worst. They will go hell for leather when it comes.
You don't have to be sorry, Alexis. We accept your apology.
Can you see what I've done though? I've done one photograph of it all on, right? Rather than you boys milking the shit out of Hasbro because you're fanboys.
I'm not a fanboy of Hasbro. I'm a massive critic. I critique.
I thought you were a loyalist or a purist.
He's all those things. He can be
He's
many
all of
things.
them.
Okay. More than one.
Screw over.
Put that shirt away.
Alexis, could you get rid of the shirt? Just swap the shirt, dear God.
How hard is it to just change your shirt?
Oh, just go topless. Just go topless.
Ladies. And
get them out full of lads.
And everything.
This one's quite good. This is the Jurassic Park one. This is quite good.
Yeah. I was going to say the colours were very reminiscent of that. And Red Scorpion, and that's based on that G2 colour thing. I can't remember the name of it. Bisso, you'd be able to tell me, I'm sure. I really can't remember the name of the damn thing. Anyway, there it is.
This is the box art for Omega Supreme with so they're Michael, they're Dagon and Yog. Dagon, I believe, is the purple one. Yog is the one which is looking at us top right.
Why do they call them such bizarre names? Because we've got Michael. Just why?
I think
Dagon and Yog.
They should all. They normally pick a theme, don't they? Third party companies.
Are they all fallen angels?
It's weird.
They all fallen angels?
Yeah.
Is that what he is?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know about Yog.
I never knew we were so biblical.
An interesting question.
Big in the church belt.
By one of our older viewers tonight. Actually, one of our oldest viewers, Pete Willis. You may have seen him. I don't know. Sometimes he's in a walkie stick on a wheelchair. But anyway, Pete Willis has asked. He's asked tonight: Is this the stag do or the second stag do for
the second stag do?
No.
If I may interject there, Jamie, I've already had a stag do, but Pete, I can understand your memory must be failing you at your advanced age. So I've already had a stag do. Thanks very much.
Here we go.
But a certain Alfire is going to be married tomorrow, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
So he's no longer single anymore. So I'm sorry, Drew and Charlie. He's taken.
I just love the fact that the night before his wedding, he's here.
I'm here.
With your friends
doing this. Doing what he really wants to do this weekend.
Nothing better to do with my Friday evening.
Which brings us on to a very poetic link, because this is the X-Men and he's soon to be an X-Man as well. So they're married on that.
Oh,
anyway,
that's a wedding joke, that is.
That's an Alexis wedding joke.
The reason we're showing it is not because of the wonderful fans HasLab Sentinel, or because of the 6-inch X-Men, whatever they're called, the Legends. It's because of the background, because this is the same company, FEX, I think it's FEX, or
FEX Hobby, isn't it?
FEX Hobby, which produced the Fans Hobby background as well. If you want,
haven't we?
So I don't know the price, but if you want something,
they are quite pricey. I've looked at these before.
It's over £100.
More than,
over 100.
Yeah, They're more than you think.
130 quid, but it's decent. And if you want something which goes with the X-Men, and you like Fans Hobby, or vice versa, you want something that goes with Fans Hobby, and you like, sorry, burping there. It's like the X-Men.
The important thing is it's not the alcohol.
Thank God your camera was turned off.
Leave me alone.
No,
you're not talking to Sam now.
No.
Do you know? I think he's got something wrong.
Come on the show. Half cut.
Do you know? We've asked him to come on time.
I'm fine.
It's that shirt. You know it's causing a problem. We've told it to you, and some reason you just don't want to change it. And
I'll get another shirt.
Okay. Because I'm thinking you need to see a psychologist and get your brain sorted.
Calm down, Mr. Liddell.
It's only 40 minutes.
Congratulations,
don't worry.
Ian. I noticed in the chat lots of people wishing you well.
I commented. Thank you very much, and thank you for the little announcement there.
I noticed Rohan didn't congratulate you, though. I'm just saying.
I think he did, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He didn't.
Oh, did he not? All right. Fine, he didn't.
Just saying, Stuart speaks wise words.
Right, what did he say?
Alexis. Sorry, when you belched.
Yeah, I think that's the most intelligent thing you've said all night.
You beat me to it.
Great minds, though. Great minds.
I'll set them up and knock them down.
Anyway,
so normally what we would go on to do now is we would go on to a smooth transition to pickups.
We now return to the Transformers.
Well, I'm going to go first, and then my pickup hopefully is going to be a new member of the team to replace Alexis. Someone who says when they'll actually do something will do it, because they know I was at hospital today. But obviously drinking at a cricket club was more important than my hospital visit. And who might wear a proper shirt, even though they know, it might cause problems. But, enough of that. Let's go into some proper pickups before I break down in tears. Now, I got basically a modern Megatron. I have not had much of a look at him. I have sort of opened some panels up and got a look at his head sculpt. I wouldn't expect that with my magnifying glass. But I do love this. It rolls quite well. I love the fact that the cannon can go up. I love the way it turns around. I know it kind of looks like a remold or a slightly bigger version of Megatron. But I absolutely do love this mold so far. And I'm just looking forward to eventually transforming them. So I'm quite, delighted by that. Just going to show a picture and share screen. Hopefully share the right picture. Not one so my great pleasure.
Either wrong.
Let's see yours.
Yes. So I got a lot of stuff today, but obviously I couldn't really open it because I was going to the hospital. But I got Shipwreck there. I've got Falcon from G.I. Joe figure. I decided not to show the front of that box because, my God, he's got he's got the worst head sculpt in creation. It's almost like they went out of their way to give someone who's been in a fire and their face is melted slightly, or it kind of looks like a Thunderbird puppet. That's what the sort of head sculpt of the sort of like the old Jerry Anderson, not the sort of updated ones where they got better and better, like Captain Scarlet. When Captain Scarlet, they started to get sexy, but the very first sort of Thunderbird puppets, when it was just ridiculous.
You like Captain Blue, didn't you? I know you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's like he's got Botox, isn't it? He's like Botox filler and stuff like that. So they've really messed up Falcon's face, but hopefully some third party or Marvel Legends head swap will come out and we can, give Falcon a proper face, because Falcon's meant to be the younger brother of is it Duke, isn't it? He's meant to be the younger brother of Duke. Yeah,
and not my bag, I'm afraid.
I think
you're
so.
right. Yeah, I think that's right. I'm not exactly an expert on it, but I do know little bits.
Yeah, so he certainly does not look like Duke's younger brother at all. He looks like Duke's hideous brother who's addicted to Botox.
Bigger brother.
But so I've got a murder Megatron. I got the two little core guys, Swoop and Scar. Beachcomber looks brilliant. I've just not had a chance to open them, or DevCon. And Axle Grease. I don't know about you, but when I got Axle Grease, and see when you just look at it through the box, the colours just really just jump out there, and that just looks amazing. Because when you look at the photographs, I wasn't that impressed by it, or I wasn't so sure about it. But now when I see it in hand, I just think, oh my god, this is brilliant. You know,
I didn't know you were collecting the core class ones, Jamie.
Oh yeah, I do. I like to get the little boxes and then don't open them and just put them to the side. But I do like
where they belong.
Yes, I do like the core class figures. I think it's I mean, we're going to be discussing it in our discussion tonight. And Alexis has got the muscle shots.
I was going to say he's got the guns out now.
Yes, I know, and he's not scared to show them, is he?
Do tickets to the gun shoot.
Gun to a knife fight.
Which way to the toilet? Get them up there. Over there.
Go on. He waxes.
Oh dear.
Well, you'd wax.
Why has he got more likes in the chat all of a sudden?
That's strange. Viewing figures have jumped up as well.
I noticed that some of them have gotten quite quiet. Why have they suddenly lost the use of their hands? I don't know.
But suddenly not able to type.
What could they be doing?
Yeah, yes. But yes, so very pleased with that. Obviously, it's going to be a fantastic weekend tomorrow because I've got a certain wedding we're going to. But then we'll have the good stuff on Sunday. So yes, you know.
Like the way you just said the good stuff on Sunday.
Obviously, I jest.
You don't have to come. You don't have to come. If you've got somewhere else you'd rather be.
Okay, so Alpha, have you picked up anything apart from a wonderful lady's hand in marriage?
Oh, thank you. So I did get something. I got a particular box from a particular bunch of reprobates who I've amassed along the way, and I did a little video of it in our own sort of little chat. But I wish I'd kept it or had it all here to show you. But I've kind of dispersed the contents, so I'll be quick with it. I got a message from Graham after or even during TFUK Con, which, as Paul quite liked to remind you, I was not there. And he said, "We're sorry you weren't here. We're going to send you something just to sort of cheer you up." And I thought, you know, in lieu of your wedding. And I thought, well, that's very nice. Thank you. Anyway, the box turned up with a sticky code on the front of it saying, please remember to use code FIRE1. Thank you very much. And then within that, I got a nice little treasure trove of anything and everything Transformer related or not. Started off with some Scottish tablet, which I've already eaten. Iron Brew Humbugs, the Transformer snacks, Golden Wonder crisps, various flavors that are in the kitchen. Yet to try those. I got one of these flat pack building Optimus Prime things. So it's like that, but it's metal. So you make it a 3D object. We've got a bobblehead thing here. It's a Shockwave. It's actually an Insecticon. So I got that as well. I got some comics, IDW stuff, which I was really pleased with. And what I was really, really touched with, well, I was touched with all of it, of course, but in the very end, I got this. Fans Toys, Beachcomber. And I really, really didn't expect that because I messaged, as I said at the time, I messaged Graham and said, have you got one in stock? I am quite interested, but I won't be able to pick it up this side of the wedding. And I said, well, maybe if you hold on to it, maybe if you bring it with you to TF Nation, save some postage and I'll buy it off you there. And to find a Fans Toys figure from with all this other little treasure trove of goodness from you lot, and a wedding card, I will point out, signed by, not limited to, loads of names from our community that we speak to on a daily basis as a wedding present. I can only say thank you so much. It really was touching, and yeah, I don't know what to say. As I said at the time, thank you doesn't begin to cut it. Yeah, I was really touched to see what was in there. And yeah, I showed my other half and she said, that's good. Do I get half of that? And I'm like, yeah, if you like. You have the Golden Wonder crisps.
I was going to say, who do you think the crisps were for? Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Can I have Beachcomber? No, you do not have Beachcomber. No.
No, she can have Beachcomber Beach coming when he's in alt mode. We can have shared custody. But he's alt
No,
mode.
I said she can have him Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday, so he's mine for the rest of the week. No, thank you so very much, and yeah, what can I say? It's really touched me. It's really lovely. Thank you again. That's my pickup for the week.
You're welcome, mate.
And a lovely one it was.
Lovely.
Well done to Graham for helping to organise all that. Graham was
yes, big
top
props.
man.
Prime time toys.
Yeah, 5 of them. They're lovely. Where were we?
That was quite touching. That was the best.
I know. We should probably just stop the show now, and we'll just.
Yeah. I'll go next.
Okay.
Go on then, Top Gun.
I have got
syphilis.
Nothing.
Sorry.
Perfect lull timing. Perfect lull.
You could just do some more poses if you want.
I've got something here. I've got something there.
I mean, you're going to tell us you've not picked up the box.
Oh, I dropped something, then bend over, Charlie.
I did.
Just make sure you turn around and look at the camera, though, when you do it.
I haven't even. Normally I have something like inept or like inappropriate. I haven't actually got anything. I've got nothing, to be honest.
I'm sure you'll find a way to be inappropriate.
I thought did you say last week that you were only getting things kind of once a month now, anyway? So obviously,
pretty much
that might have a knock-on effect for each week that goes by.
I don't believe this. I'm not sure.
Is that just what you're telling Sam?
And I think I'm getting one next week. I think I'm going to get Fans Toys, the cassettes, and then something else. New Age Hound. That's what's next. I think it's either next week or the week after we're getting that. But otherwise, that's bad. I can do unboxing of something else that I've got if anyone wants to do that. If we have later on.
Steady on, Charlie. I was only joking about the bending over, but
rip that shirt like Hulk Hogan.
Let me tell you something, brother. Don't do that. Anyway, right.
No, I'm not going to.
No, it's fine.
I will say this shirt is from Canada. They don't make shirts like this in the UK. This is actually like a long, like.
It's a long way to go for a shirt, Alexis.
Man's
got too much money. I'm off close.
I need a wardrobe to Canada.
I try to find this shirt in the UK, like this brand, and it doesn't exist. Like they have different styles that they.
I'm sure they have postage. I'm sure they do.
No.
I mean, I know
you're not buying from Untuckit. That's the one that's always advertised on the bloody radio, are you?
You'd be surprised.
Men who like to wear untucked shirts.
Bought this from a mall. So.
Oh, I think we're going to say something. You're like a reservation.
Mole.
You know, something.
Oh, mole. I think you said a mole.
That's the one.
That's the one.
I wish it'd been a mole. No, that's a story. Anyway.
So you didn't get anything this week, Alexis?
It's a mole.
This is the longest I never got anything this week.
I know.
So, Andy, what have you got this week? Andy?
Save it.
Aneurysm from this. Anyway, I got one thing. My Armada Megatron's in transit, of course, but because it was ordered separately. This did arrive, so this is the axle grease. And I agree that the colours do absolutely pop on this thing. But I remember saying that when that was one of the things that I liked about the character when it was revealed and we were talking about it. And yeah, I really like the colours on it. I've not had time to open it because it arrived about an hour and a half ago and I've been busy. So something to keep me occupied over the weekend, and I might have a few words. I'm sure Jamie will as well next week about what it's like. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I only pre-ordered 2 of the figures from this wave, and it was that one and the Armada Megatron. So I should, God willing, have them both for next week's show. And that's it.
I mean, I think that's one thing I would say about the other waves which are coming out, because we've got the Studio Series stuff and then we've got the gamer stuff as well, and I don't really like the look of the gamer stuff at all.
No,
you know,
I'm not
I feel
particularly bothered.
Yes, I do feel like
I'm half tempted.
I'm not, because I look at them and they look pish, and I just go.
The reviews I've seen of the Barricade have been overall more on the negative side. It's like it looks good, but its balance is crap. It falls over at the.
That's the one that I'm probably leaning more towards as well, because that prime from the back, that gap in the alt mode. Not that I would really. It just looks very basic.
Which one?
I just
Prime, the Gamer Prime.
Gamer
Edition, Prime.
The third party Prime. Toy Box Soapbox has done some recent pictures of Gamer Prime, and he just makes it look awesome. But before I
so
start
do
to go
you,
and
James.
buy it. I
you do as well.
just go and look at the stock photos and go, thank God I was nearly going to buy it there. Then I look at soapbox pictures again and I go, I'm going to buy this. This looks awesome. Then I have to look at the stock photos.
No, you've done that. You've done that
Jamie,
to me
you've
as
done
well.
that. Yeah, you've done that to me. You've done that probably to most people who've watched this. So don't you?
I said before,
group.
you make an average figure look good.
Thank you.
You're talking about toys, right?
Yeah,
not necessarily. No,
but
broad brush.
But then you've got Spider Father, Melshade, who's always does his write-ups and just does his sort of, and he also gives a sort of history to the figures as well, and it kind of makes you, I'm missing out, because you don't know, but like a year from now, well, I'll look back and go think, should I have got that Game of Prime? Because I think, like a lot of people say, the third party could fix that problem quite easily. Although that wasn't really the issue why I wasn't getting it, because I always, I worry about cherry picking sometimes. Sometimes I like to go all in and collect from that line, but that's just me. Okay, so now I guess it's Rohan, and I think we should have a special Tarzan call from Alexis for Rohan.
Beat your chest. Go primal, like.
Yeah, go full primal. Monkey, not truck.
Primal.
Does everyone here watch the movie?
No spoilers.
Don't do anything spoiler. For the love of God, don't do anything spoiler.
We can't do spoilers.
No.
I will go primal, no matter the cost. That's not a spoiler, but you know what I mean. Rohan!
That was definitely
worth the wait, wasn't it?
Who is the super YouTuber? Is it Paul, the Joy Toy Collector? Andy, the Newcastle United fan? Jamie, the GoBot hater? Alexis, the salesman? Rohan, the man with the plan and the Wall of Fame? Might just be Rohan's Corner, Super Transformers guy. Rohan's Corner, poking Hasbro in the eye. Oh, he's so fly, a groovy guy with a beard that just won't stop. When the bots get rough, he's super tough as third party cleans up. Rohan's Corner, Super Transformers guy. Rohan's Corner, poking Hasbro in the eye. Thank you, my friends, and welcome back to the world of Hanro. And this week I'm talking about Rise of the Beast. No, I'm not actually, because, there's no point. I haven't seen it. The guys have covered it to death on the show. And there's reviews everywhere, and there's spoilers everywhere, and you've all seen it probably anyway. I'll probably be the last one to see it, going by what, everybody thinks of me, and the fact that I don't actually buy my Transformers till a year after everyone else, and blah, blah, blah. I will get around to seeing it. I just need to find some time when I can actually get out and see it. But anywho, this week I've got for you the review of Magic Square's Munitioner, or in other words, Generation 1 Swindle. So let's take a look at him. Alright, so as always, starting off with the packaging, we have, of course, the lovely Magic Square packaging, as you'd expect. Munitioner, as I said, he should have been called Mutineer, because obviously he's having a mutiny most of the time, or trying to make a deal, and basically being Alexis. Warning on the front, Magic Square on the top, we've got a picture on the side, and Magic Square, warning on the bottom, and the same old Made in China, and a picture on the back of the alt mode, which is quite nice with the tech specs, and he's got high intelligence, but not very good in terms of things like courage and rank and things like that. So there you go. All right, opening up the inside the box, you get, of course, Swindle and the foot in the cartoon colored accuracy. And here we have the baggie of accessories and instructions and his card, collector card. Instructions as usual, nice colored instructions on glossy paper. Not too bad to follow. I did follow them once, and then after that, I was able to do it by myself. It's 46 steps. In terms of the accessories, there's quite a few. You get, obviously, his arm blaster, which he can fit on his arm, unlike every other iteration of the toy. You get his other end missile, kind of. You get his missile, which is doubling up as his gun. You get the sort of post in which they both attach and can be posed with, which sits in the vehicle mode, doesn't have anywhere to go on robot mode, and you get his spare tire or spare wheel for vehicle mode, which also can sit on his back in robot mode. If we take him out and have a look at him, I'm not even going to bother taking the foot out until we get more pieces of Bruticus to combine, we can see that the spare wheel here has a little tab and a little peg hole here, and we can connect the two together, and there we have it. And on his arm he has a tab in which you can attach one of the two tabs on his large gun, and he can hold and pose that well. He can hold his alternate missile gun perfectly well, and this thing you just need to keep somewhere safe. And there's his card. Right then, here's the close-up of the little guy himself. We can see he's got a black painted face, which everybody is complaining about because the IDW version comes with a nice silver face, which looks better. On the IDW version, you also get a transparent window screen rather than this toon-accurate painted one. Otherwise, he's pretty much identical other than the combiner foot. And if we take a look around him, he stands quite nicely, traditional Magic Square style. Everything is flush and panels are straight. There are a few bits of gappage and a few bits of sort of peg areas to plug into down the side here. And unlike some of his colleagues and other Magic Square figures, there is a reasonable amount of gappage and a bit of paneling in the back here as well. But it cleans up quite nicely on the front, and I think you can forgive it considering it's a combiner and he has those other features. And a quick robot mode comparison with some other figures. Here we have Mechfan's Toy Snarl, New Age's Galvatron, who is a reasonable amount taller than him, which probably isn't that too accurate, but makes sense. New Age's Beachcomber, who's half the size of Swindle. Magic Square's Hoist, who's quite a bit shorter from the head standpoint, but obviously comes up to the same height if you include all his gubbins. Hot Rod from Studio Series 86, and the Orion packs from the 2-pack Hero Born. And for a Through the Generations comparison, here he is with his likely lad, G1 Swindle, who's obviously Diddy.
It's not my fault, Megatron. This greed is built into my personality component.
And there we have Swindle in his alt mode. In terms of transformation, it is very involved. I mean, you know, what I said about Brawl's legs is to the next level on Swindle's legs, obviously. Not massively difficult to do, but just very fiddly. You've got to twist them around several times, open flaps, expand them, line everything up and tag it together. And when you're tabbing it together, the difficulty really comes with the ports, because in the doors, for example, here on the side, there's a little tiny peg which you may or may not be able to see in there, which goes into a hole, and that tiny little peg is probably just slightly too big for the hole, and so it doesn't quite line up well. It's very similar in many ways to the Hound design. As you can see, it's got the not straight but diagonally shaped doors on here because the back end is larger than the front end, and yeah, it's not too terrible, but it has issues with the legs. Certainly you'll have to do it once or twice, and then once you've done it, then it's fine. And I had some issues with the arms. You have to get them right into the right position to be able to clip the front end on in the right place, and also then to be able to clip the front wheels on. So because the way in which it works is the shoulders and the arms actually fold up and squeeze into the engine bay itself, they then have to be pushed slightly forward, but not too far forward, so that you can get this front positioning all connected together. And the ultimate end solution, the ultimate end look is fantastic. I absolutely love the look of Swindle in his alt mode. I think out of all the Magic Square figures I've got, it's probably one of the best looking alt modes they've made. And it just tidies up really well. There are a couple of small holes here on the top. The front end looks lovely with the blue lights and the purple and yellow sand color really do emulate the cartoon perfectly. You have full visibility of moving bits, pieces around. You can put the guns at different angles and whatnot. The wheels do roll really nicely. I think mine actually rolls probably almost too freely compared to some of the others. They've gone to the nth degree in terms of the detail here with the slats in the grille and the bumper assembly and the winch here on the front, which all obviously is molded plastic, really nice. And on the back, it cleans up really well. You don't see too much kibble. Obviously, there's a few little bits underneath, which you can see from the side. And if you flip it over, you can see the sort of torso body, the fake front end, if you like. But that's about it. And on the back end, yeah, when you put the spare wheel on, obviously it's a bit of a pain that you've got to put the spare wheel and this connector post in, unfortunately. But, you know, you're asking for a lot if you're trying to get that involved in as well, considering that we've already got fake wheels here on the bottom for the legs and our fake wheels also for the shoulders as well. And it's nice that they've included the steering wheel, which is adjustable. The thighs actually make up what ends up looking like the seats here in the middle with these little flip-out seat backrests, and then the thighs make up the sort of leg area, if you like. It's beautiful. And just a very quick comparison with Hound, because obviously he's the first Jeep that Magic Square have done. The first thing that strikes me, I don't know about all of you, is the fact that he's just bigger, Swindle. He's wider, he's beefier, he's got more presence about him. And I kind of wish that Magic Square had made Hound now in this sort of scale rather than in the slightly slimmer scale that he is. Height-wise, Hound is perfectly fine. It's just the vehicle mode, and he's got better seats, Hound, and the way in which they did the incorporation of the weapon here on the back is simpler, obviously, than Swindle's, but Swindle's will hold better because of the way they've incorporated that. But overall, I think they both look fantastic. Quick comparison then with the usual suspects. We have Masterpiece Toy World B, we have Power of the Prime's Windcharger, Generation 1 Swindle, who obviously is not quite as long, a little bit wider, doesn't quite have the posability or even the color scheme of the Magic Square Swindle, but it's still a cool little Jeep. We have Generation 2 Iron Fist, or G1.5 Iron Fist, which is a custom by the wonderful Nathan Croak at the Cluttered Desk. Earthrise Kingdom, Warpath, and New Age's Outback for scale against New Age Minibot, and Magic Square's Gears. And he scales up pretty nicely against all of these figures, to be fair. Obviously, Toy World B is quite a bit bigger, and the Hasbro products are larger scale, but in terms of with the other four, he's pretty good. And so, final thoughts then on Magic Square Munitioner, or G1 Swindle, or Mutineer if you want to copy my naming convention. There's been a lot of negative press about this guy because of the fact that he comes with the black face plate and it should have been silver, which I do agree with, and also the fact that his legs are pretty complex and the transformation is very involved from tip to toe, which I don't mind too much because it pulls off the look really well in robot mode, and the alt mode is fantastic in my opinion. I don't think there's ever been a better Swindle, and it does encompass the personality of the character a little bit, in the sense that he's a blackmailing, deal-talking, cheap man who just wants to get what he wants and doesn't really care about his friends too much. But ultimately, I love the character, I love the figure, and even though it is a bit more expensive, you know, part of Bruticus is a must-have for me. So if you haven't got him, if you want to get Legends, he's the one to get in terms of G1 style Swindle. Now, and on that bombshell, that's me for another week. I hope you've enjoyed. Thank you for joining me here on Rohan's Corner. Back to the studio.
Transformers, Rohan's in disguise.
Well, thank you, Rohan, for another wonderful video. Now we're going to be doing foreplay, but we're going to consider what our best movie Optimus Prime or Prime is.
Can I just say one thing, Jamie, before that, about Rohan made a very good point there. Magic Square do overcomplicate their Transformers significantly. Their Megatron is one of the worst ones. And the comparison between their Hound and their Swindle in alt mode was brilliant. I'm so looking forward to having the Transformer Swindle's legs I get him in and a lot of people have been saying that they're going to keep him in leg mode. So, but Rohan, credit to you, sir. Great review.
Hey, thank you for the essay there. That was amazing.
These are sex people.
What do you mean?
They're sex swappers. Lynn, this is DEFCON 1. Look. Look. Don't make the same noise as them. Don't think you want to join in.
So who wants to go first? Who wants to get off their chest or on their chest who their favourite movie Optimus Prime is?
I'll get on my chest.
If that's all right.
All right, you go for it.
Go.
Okay, so if we're talking movie, live action movies, Optimus is...
No, it was movie Optimus Prime. We didn't actually say live action.
No, we never specified live action. We never specified that.
Okay.
So
that's why you have to give the right answer, or you might be...
Oh, well, fair enough.
So,
I mean, we all know what the right answer is. But,
okay,
you know.
right. So for the audience benefit, we gave Ian the ability to choose tonight what the full play was, and Ian, you said an Optimus Prime, didn't you? But you didn't specify what.
I just said choose your favorite Optimus Prime.
Choose your Optimus Prime, but not Orion Pax.
Yeah, so it wasn't Orion Pax.
Has to be an Optimus Prime, not a primal, but a prime. So you're very clear about that. You were very clear about the ask, and straight away you failed. But that's fine. You can pick yourself back up.
Why has he failed?
I haven't.
I think it's one of these things where we just nod and smile and just.
All right, dear.
Go on.
Right. So we're going to stick to movie Optimus Primes then. Well, 1986 has to be, doesn't it? You know, there is the one redeeming right answer. However, as much as I could, you know, if that wasn't an option, and for the sake of variety, the Bumblebee intro on Cybertron, the sort of the Toy World mold. I don't know what you would call it, but when you see the Cybertronian Optimus Prime before he leaves and comes to Earth, that was very good. That was very G1 inspired, and that's the most G1 live action movie Optimus Prime we've seen to date. So, if the 1986 one wasn't available, the start of the Bumblebee film would be my particular choice. So, that looks so good.
And that's why I want to interject here, because I just wonder the reason that the animation Optimus Prime stands out very much like the G1 Bumblebee Optimus Prime is what they had him doing. That sort of heroic stand when he's clearly outnumbered and he still batters them. You know, gives this sort of heroic sort of John Wick gladiator sort of appeal to him. You know, something which is which people love, that heroic type figure. And I wonder if they've done that more often with the other primes, that type of scene, would that resonate more? Because that is just something that just stands out. Because I look at the G1 Optimus Prime, and you can see a lot of that animation, the scales off with the figures, blah, 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 what it's mowing down. I guess you could say mass shifting why the truck's suddenly so big. But we didn't care because the scene was so cool. No one questioned it and no one gives a damn. Because the scene, the set, the choreography, whatever way you want to call it, it just worked. And then you can forgive these things. And you know, when it comes to little things, you know, like scale and stuff like that, Transformer fans be like perhaps the worst on the planet at picking these things out, but we don't, not with that. That's like a holy grail we won't touch. So yeah, that's answer to my one. Transformers animation. Actually, I just agree with Hellfire. If it wasn't for that, it would be the Bumblebee one, that opening scene.
Yeah.
I'm with Battlefire tonight.
Because that's what I was going to say too. But I will say one special shout out for a toy that was a movie one, live action movie one. Just because I found it earlier on when I was looking for something else in a cupboard and I didn't even realize it was bloody in there. You ever seen the Night Watch Optimus Prime from the first movie?
Oh, no.
So this is the leader class size, and they did it in these colors, and it was called Night Watch. And basically, it was the idea he was on some undercover mission at night, so he had to be blue and black with the flames and everything, but with this rather nice color scheme. Now, this is a lesson though in why you should never give your toys to your children to play with, because if you look at that,
I was going to say, yeah, you were missing.
Liam, if you're watching, you've lost a frigging panel. What the hell happened to his other smokestack? And where's his frigging gun gone?
I must admit, you were holding that to one angle, and I thought, "Go on, spin it around."
There was a reason why.
There was a reason.
It had to be the one good side at the moment is the one with the big bloody CE
sticker.
Andy,
how do you know that?
I tell you what, if they did a modern one of this in these kind of colours, I'd buy it because I didn't love
it. How do you actually know that was Liam though? Because obviously it's Optimus Prime After Dark, so maybe he was on a secret mission. He got a smokestack, left it behind in the club.
Toy Story isn't real, Alexis. It's
Alexis,
not what happens.
I feel this is more you referring to something that's happened in your life. You left your smokestack behind in a claw. Bits missing. I get what you mean. And it may not have been Liam, but I'm pretty sure it was. I love the colours, and this is the original movie one. And the other thing I'd say about this was I do remember it because I came home from work one night and Claire had actually bought this from Woolworths or something like that. Or was it Toys R Us? Something like that, anyway. And she bought it for us because she thought I'd like. And the colour scheme, god damn, look at that.
Yeah.
Beaten up or not, I mean, it's nice. Anyway, there you go.
So before I do my, because you three have obviously been now. So before I do my choice, I want to give a quick shout out to Jazz Hardy because Jazz pointed out on Facebook that the real color, so the other color, this color, Optimus Prime, is going to be touring Smith's toy stores over the coming months, and I don't know when. So if you go on Smith's website, I'm making sure you can find it. But if you want a picture of that style Optimus Prime, then you can go to a Smith's toy store in your location at the right time and day, and you might be able to obtain a photograph with the big man himself.
And if you want to check the game website, they're doing something similar, especially in areas like Manchester, etc. So if you want to check what events they have planned for their collaboration with Transformers Rise of the Beast.
And Smiths and Game want to sponsor the show.
Contact me.
No, contact. He's bought everything anyway.
No. If you want,
are you going to be head of negotiation?
Oh, is he gone? Oh, he's back again. What happened there?
If you want to support Alexis, I need to buy sleeves. I have no sleeves.
Oh, you're so poor. Spend all your money on toys.
It's a bit hard to say that when you've got a big Unicron next to you.
Well, that's what he's been doing to earn some money. He's going out snatching children off the street, and today he lost one of them.
Oh, is that the child he lost?
Oh. No, that was going to take a dark turn.
Ethan came back. He was
Nick, don't.
Cheryl.
I'll talk about this, Nick.
I'll talk about my middle child after this. Right, lost him. He was. Oh my god.
Like, can I go back to my real parents now, please?
This is being recorded. So very careful.
So I've one. No.
Don't get kicked off a live stream.
I have one quick shout out, which is
You've already done a quick shout out.
You've done one already.
Alexis, you're not special. You don't get two quick shout outs. We're not having it.
Choose your Optimus Prime. We've chosen Optimus Primes.
Live Optimus Primes, right? So it was which I'm trying. I can't remember.
Do you want to give a shout out to Optimus Prime?
Which of the movie was it? Was it when you took on Blackout? We've done it before, Andy. When you said like Optimus Prime, he grew knuckles, didn't he? He grew like a knuckle duster, and he smacked
That's
out.
Was it that Revenge of the Fallen?
Was it Revenge of the Fallen?
Dark of the Moon. It might have been Dark of the Moon.
After
that, to be honest, the films all just got terrible. And
he grew knuckles. The one scene where he's going.
He swings around a punch. It's Dark of the Moon because it's when he's fighting Shockwave and he gets the knuckle duster and just cracks him.
That's my shout out. The Prime that I liked and the Prime that I know, and again, obviously 86 Prime, right? But the one which homages me most to that is the Revenge of the Fallen when Prime takes out I think it's 6 Decepticons. He's defending. I'm gonna call him Daniel because I can't remember the guy's name, right? Because he's a human, and every human looks the same to me. So I'm obviously an alien.
You mean Sam?
That's the one.
The main character from the first 3 films. It is hard to
remember. It's ironic that the person's name Sam is the same as my wife, which I
was going to say.
Because you were aroused by both of them. Is that the irony?
Okay.
Easy to remember.
You only got one pregnant girl.
In the politest words of in the politest words of Star Wars, stay on target. Right. So
coming from you.
Again.
Use the force.
Again. Stay on target. That's a trap. No, anyway. So it's Prime going for the forest, and Prime just gets his double swords out, sword axes thing. He's just chopping.
Yeah, it's in the forest scene, isn't it? When he fights Megatron and Starscream and Grindor all at the same time.
Grindor, who's not
and
black.
you
Who's
think
not blackout entirely.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
Hey, everyone has multiple online accounts. It's fine. So it's fine.
Oh God, Sam, I hope you're watching.
This is the longest description ever of your favorite Optimus.
This is almost longer than his I never got any pickup segment.
I did. I loved the whole piece, right? But he does unfortunately die at the end, does he? Spoiler alert. Prime doesn't win the fight at the end. So, but yes, it was dark. Is it Dark of the Moon? Is it Dark of the Moon? Dark of the Moon, I remember.
So where everyone else liked Optimus Prime because of the heroic stance, Alexis liked one.
Well, it was a heroic stance to give it his dues.
Using knuckle dusters.
I have to admit that was quite a good scene from that film when he fights them off and says, "I'll take you all on."
I'll take you all.
Turns around and just
he died and lost.
Oh, he does. Well, so did.
Sorry, Jamie. Optimus does.
In a way,
Optimus dies a lot. We're used to him dying now.
Yeah.
He dies at least. All right, he maybe didn't lose the battle.
Oh, that'd be a good question at a quiz, right? How many times has Optimus Prime died on screen? That's a good question, right?
7.
I like a little.
Does it count the one where he feeds himself in space flying to Cybertron?
Well, again, you have to answer.
Would that be a question where when he's done something stupid? I'm flying to Cybertron.
Doesn't matter the cause, Jamie. Is he alive or dead?
Jamie, the answer will be how many can I actually remember? Because if I can't remember it, it didn't happen.
Is that your rule for life?
That's you as a quizmaster, is it?
Hey, you should have been.
You should have been at TFUK.
You should have been.
For anyone watching, I did a dry run of that quiz, and I gave my constructive feedback. You all had to endure it.
Well, anyway, that's enough of foreplay today. I'm losing the will to live slowly. So now we're going on to our answers. Now we're going on to our discussion, and the discussion is where does Transformers go from here? And all seriousness, we discuss this quite a lot in different ways and different versions, but I'm hoping for some fresh input tonight where we think Transformers should go from here, especially with the launch of the comic coming out, and what it's going to do to try to keep new fans, but not try and grow these new people to the franchise and not worry so much about keeping us old people, especially Pete, happy. So that's going to be our real discussion tonight. Where does Transformers go here?
We now return to the Transformers.
And I see it every time, and I hopefully, and I mean it in this way, I do want them to bring sort of human type figures to the Chug line, because I think that's something which Masterpiece has in abundance, and I think it's something that we could have for Chug Collector. So I would like that.
Wouldn't they be an accessory maybe with a figure?
Wait, before we get into this, right? So this is again, like if this falls to pot, right? This was my idea, right? There were two things I wanted to share genuinely with this, right? Which inspired me because we've got two little breakthroughs. I felt that so Yellow Park is one with the model kits, and the Yellow Park do also the pre-built stuff like 3-0 do, and you also have the model kits now as well, and you also have 3-0 do also the mini model kits, and you also have things like Robo-San. And I wanted to share this and make sure this comes through, right? This is the Bumblebee. This was shared again on Dame Chalk. I'll play this video, right? This is what Bumblebee does as an example. Because Jamie, you mentioned that Bumblebee does pole dance, and you are correct, he does.
We saw that episode. We're all there, we got counselling for it. We have survived.
Are you suggesting this is the way forward? What Bumblebee is doing right now?
You're saying like this is the future of Transformer collectors, and this is what they can do.
If this is the future of Transformers collecting, I'm out. What am I looking at?
Andy, look at those lips. Look at those hips, rather, not the lips. And then
I was going to say, sorry, Ian, I was looking at you. What was that?
What's those lips on? He's just thinking his lips on those hips. That's what you're thinking.
Well, there you are. What more could you want for Transformer Collective for the next 20 years?
And the other one was the Diaclone video, because I thought this was quite good as well. Like, and this is again like this has come back around. Diaclone obviously died to death, and then has come back. And is this the future? Are they going full circle? Because this to me looks like,
you mean with Diaclone figures coming back out again?
Yeah. Because again, you see other things in there, and it looks very much like Diaclone. The thing looks like Metroplex, right? Or like Metros versus.
I would. Sorry, Ian, you go on.
All right. So I'm just going to say to Jamie's point.
That's what I was going to say. Was yeah,
Alexis, could you let someone talk first, please?
I can.
Then you can speak. Fire. Go on.
Okay. So to your point, Jamie, I think, as you say, something a bit fresh. Now, I've said this before, to bang the Beast Wars drum, is that I like to see something new. What I do find with Transformers, and I don't want to drum on being a negative, but it feels a bit rinse and repeat, in as much as we're all. What's going on here?
It's almost like Alexis has access to.
Okay, right. So I'll talk through it now. Okay, to really sum it up, most stories come to a head when Unicron appears, and they have to defeat Unicron, start again. I'm thinking IDW, the War for Cybertron, or
Unicron
trilogy, a certain film. Yeah, it seems to be. That's your reset. That's your story you tell, and then cycle it again. Now, granted, you can't really go much bigger than Unicron. Maybe that is your crescendo. For me, I would like to see something completely fresh, like when Beast Wars came out for the first time, or even when RID first came out. It was a little bit different. Just want to see almost completely new characters, but build them up differently. Give them a different reason for not just being Autobots versus Decepticons, fight for a bit, then there's a truce to fight Unicron. Do something completely different. In terms of us as collecting, I don't think our habits will change all that much. I think there will still be films, still be comics and TV shows and what have you, and figures of whatever scales. But yeah, I would like a completely fresh storyline that would get newer fans in. Otherwise, I don't know if there is an awful lot of pull for it, getting brand new fans in. Maybe there is. I mean, Rescue Bots, Bots, that's going to get a very young generation into it, maybe. But I wouldn't say it's particularly new. It's still the same premise, isn't it? Good versus evil.
I think what you say is a good idea, actually, because, I mean, first of all, when it comes to the figures, I think it's been pointed out with RoboCop 2, he says that the CEO is thinking of making that sort of mini masterpiece dream and more of a reality, higher quality, where we might pay more, but we're not paying for the third-party add-ons because the figures will be hopefully more complete or more aesthetically pleasing to all of us. But I do think it's sometimes going outside that box and reimagining these characters might be quite good, because when you look at literature or when you look at books, when you think about James Bond, because I love all the books in James Bond, and every time they talk about what actor to play James Bond, they clearly know that these people aren't fans, and they have no idea. They don't care. They won't support the franchise. The idea of supporting the franchise is maybe streaming it off Netflix. They just don't care about the character. But when you look at James Bond, the character for the film was different from the books, from the first book, and what the director envisioned. But because the directors nailed Bond, the author, Fleming, he rewrote the book, and he also rewrote the subsequent books to match the character that Sean Connery portrayed. And I just imagine if Sean Connery was James Bond today, if James Bond was getting made for the first time today, there'd be an outcry about how he doesn't match the character from the book, and there'd be people mourning he's not this. But sometimes doing something new can relaunch something and make it just better. And I'm kind of hoping that maybe in your suggestion, but sometimes it might be a miss, but sometimes it could be a hit, and it could be a golden nugget in there. And I think you've got to try to do something different. Even if it does, even if it doesn't work, you know, trying something different, not to appease some people or make these people happy, or we're doing this, we're doing it because we want to try something different. And I like that idea.
Open question. Do you think the realigned continuity of Transformers that appeared obviously almost a decade ago has helped or hindered the progression of Transformers?
When you say realigned, what do you mean?
Do you mean the aligned continuity when they tried to pull everything into one story? So that there was one history and one background.
Do you think that's
Transformers Prime comes into, and it brings in elements of the movie, elements of G1, and everything else in between? And
personal opinion, no right or wrong, right? Personal opinion. Do you think that's helped or hindered progression of Transformers?
It's probably hindered, I would say, because sorry, Andy, go on.
Well, I was actually go on. You go on, because I was actually going to say the complete opposite. But go on. I'll be
okay, go. I would say, what was I going to say? I've lost my train of thought now. No, I think it's probably hindered, if anything, because if you funnel it all into one history and one stream, then you are just destined to repeat, aren't you? There's one narrative to follow, one storyline. You don't have that multiple backdrop of this is in this unit. I don't want to say multiverse, but you know, that's when multiverses you can have different scenarios. It doesn't have to be a Unicron every time, a Primus every time. You know, you could have a Transformers universe where life is born from Vector Sigma, and another one where it's born from the Matrix or 13 Primes or whatever. But if you put it all into just one continuity, you're stuck. Go on, Andy, your turn.
Well, what I was going to say was the part of the reason why they did it was because they wanted to start to develop this idea of this lore, like Star Wars, for example, has as a franchise, which people really get into and identify with. But with Star Wars, what you find is a lot of parents are still wanting to watch these things and introduce their children to it, which then gets the children into it. And then as they grow up into adulthood, the idea is they will then do the same with their children. So the reason why they keep harking back to the same legacy characters, as they call them now, like Optimus Prime and Megatron, Starscream, even Hot Rod, who is now considered, for all the people who moan about Hot Rod kill Prime bollocks. No, he didn't. It was in a fucking script so they could sell toys. Don't be stupid. Grow up.
But he did kill him. He did kill him.
He didn't pull the trigger.
Watch our trailer.
He's going to stop Megatron from
jumping in.
It's a script, Jamie.
We can't argue about it. It's been nearly 40 years.
Jamie can.
Just because it's written in script doesn't mean
your favorite Transformers as well.
It's like saying Darth that isn't evil because it's written in his script. Fuck off.
No, it's not. Because it's a script. It's not real, Jamie. It's not real.
And do you know what? Hot Rod can't go to the director. Sorry, I don't feel comfortable.
Looney Tunes interrupted me there. Getting back to the point. The point is that they use these legacy characters to keep that interest through the parents, who will then watch things with their kids, which then gets the kids interested in it. It's why we've seen so many reinventions of the original characters, but without going completely away from them. Transformers Animated is beloved, especially amongst people, I'd say, kind of age between kind of 30 and 40s, who really loved that series, but the movieverse meant that they cut it short and just went with something that was more to tie into whatever their next big thing was. I'd love to see, in a way, a completely new version of Transformers with new characters, like a new reset. But I would fear, like Hasbro probably do, that it would fail because you wouldn't get in that interest that you get from people who are already invested in the characters, who then draw in their children, family, whatever.
So, Andy, I'll ask a follow-up question to that in a second. I want to hear Jamie's opinion. The aligned continuity, Jamie, do you think it's helped or hindered progression?
I think a lot of people can get confused. I think the toy lines can get confusing because parents like to buy toy lines, and friends of the family like to buy toy lines for their kids, and they want to buy the correct toy line that matches the other toy, and it seems like it must be confusing for parents going out there, you know, to see which belongs to which. And I think sometimes in the stories that you can start to get confused. And I think Star Wars had the benefit of it just had an explosion of different books based on, you know, different characters, and it wasn't a multiverse. Each book was written as if it was in their universe, and it was good because people could just cherry pick what they thought was good, and the stuff they didn't like they just didn't consider as canon. And it kind of seemed to work with the sort of Star Wars fandom. It was in a weird way. It's only when I think when TV and movies streaming services and the social media like Twitter and that start to become more vocal, and, but things start to get almost like people want them set in stone. You have to understand my opinion. For example, there's going to be a lot of people who think Hot Rod didn't kill Prime, and you humor those people. You pat them in the back and go, yes, you go and play in the swings and with your lollipop and stuff like that.
The fact you haven't got the emotional maturity to understand I hope this is a joke. I really
and no, I understand that because when you look at that film, when you look at Transformers animation,
Andy, you say it with passion.
Optimus Prime wanted to go for the heroic kill. The heroic kill has always been important in the 80s. It's kind of from the Western where the bad guy goes for the gun and tries to shoot it. Benny takes him out. Hot Rod got in the way of that. And then Prime couldn't go and shoot Megatron, even though his targeting system's crap. And that's the Alpha Trion's fault. The point was, if Hot Rod didn't jump into that, Optimus Prime would have got his heroic shot off. And that's the way that script was going, and that's the way it was getting written, and that's just an archetype character, and Hot Rod interfered with that. He got Prime killed. It wasn't malicious.
The script was always going to have Prime dying, though.
Just because it's in the script.
They were killing him off for new toys.
I know, and they got up, and but that doesn't change the fact that Hot Rod got him killed. Just because you're saying this thing is a script. Scripts and books, novels
so that they can sell toys.
That doesn't change
what I'm saying is the hating of Hot Rod is pointless because it wasn't like it looked like Hot Rod actually made a choice, is it? Because Hot Rod isn't a real thing. It's a written script. It's
but you can't say that. That's like saying that about any fictional character. It doesn't make sense.
Yes, you can't say it about any fictional character.
Empire didn't want to blow up Alderaan. It was just written in the script.
But you can say Darth Vader was evil because they wrote it as evil because he was.
He went down a rabbit hole and got lost.
Right. Okay, calm. Right, gentlemen.
Alexis is calling for calm. Let's just focus.
Well, thank God he's here.
Thank God Alexis is here.
My next question, though, right? So I'll do a very like 20-second prologue. So last on D&D, I became a zombie, and someone said zombies are evil. I said, well, hang on, why am I evil? What have I done to be evil? It's like not all zombies. Just because I'm a zombie doesn't mean I'm evil, right? So my question is just because are all Decepticons evil, or do Decepticons have choice? So is Megatron evil? Does he have choice?
Of course, Megatron is evil. He's committed genocide and mass murder. It doesn't matter if it's written in the fucking script. That's the way they want to portray the character.
You understand he hasn't actually killed anyone, though? Yeah, you understand that, right? That's not real.
Why are you trying to spoil fun, Andy? I don't know.
I'm just making the point that we seem to live in a world where you think this has actually happened, and I'm quite scared that you're going to start a campaign.
That's the point of enjoying that and disappearing into
cancel
these
Megatron.
Maniac. I would hope we would do more than cancel Megatron. I hope they're not going to start attacking them with hashtags. Take that, Megatron.
Megatron was misunderstood.
If you at home think what you would like to see the next direction of Transformers would go to, because this is clearly what we're still talking about, please put a note in the comments below.
I would say say we've got to go back to basics. I think when you make a character who has you've written a character who has wiped out fictionally, not real.
It's not real. Oh my God! Are we? Is this a?
Have you written a character?
He's here, Andy. Look, he's here. It's real. Look, he's here.
If you've written a character like Megatron who is evil and has committed genocide, I don't think you can start a sort of arc where he's just misunderstood.
All right. Side question. Outside Transformers lore, which evil bad guy do you like as a bad guy? Like, if you're doing like fictional character bad guys that have been cartoons, or
Skeletor.
Yeah, he had humor. He was funny as well.
You mean like someone we like to be a villain?
So if you're going to put someone and then put them in a Transformer shell, who would you choose? Another fictional villain, and you go, that would make the next Megatron. Who would be? So you obviously got Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron, you've obviously got Galvatron. Unicron not counting because he's a big bad, right? He's different, right? But who would be if you had Beast Wars, Beast Machines 2.0, or Beast whatever? I don't give a shit, right? But anyway, end of something after that, right? I can't. I'm trying to go. I'm monologuing, right? After that, right? Who would you have as the big bad? Who would be the next Megatron?
The next
from
big
Transformers, outside of Transformers.
No, as a Transformer.
Sorry.
As a Transformer.
Shockwave.
No,
that's not a bad choice.
Okay.
He's done it in the comics, but he's never really done it in movies and cartoons, has he? Not to the extent that he did in the comics.
And cartoons, he was more like a stooge.
Sorry.
He?
Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
I do
very loyal in some ways.
Sorry. You can have characters outside Transformers. Sorry. So you can choose a character.
No, we're having our own conversation now, Alexis. It's fine.
We're trying to answer your question, Alexis. And you're now talking again. Is that because you haven't spoken?
Alexis,
Yeah, sorry.
you just let people finish your point, then we'll listen to you, okay?
All right, sorry. Right. You misunderstood my point. That's
Alexis,
fine.
don't say sorry. Don't say sorry. Just be quiet.
Sorry.
I can so picture you in a classroom, Jamie.
Go on, Andy. Anyway. Who would your leader be?
I'd throw in someone like Tarn just because he seems. They obviously wrote him with more of a backstory, but I mean, he almost dived into the evil element of it, even in the backstory, whereas they've tried to explain away some of the other characters. Oh, well, they turned evil because of this, but then Tarn, it was just. Like I actually quite enjoyed this. I'm going to be. He
enjoys being evil, doesn't he?
And I thought that was quite entertaining. And they did chuck him into Cyberverse. They chucked him into the cartoon. If you haven't watched that,
I couldn't believe
he appears in the last series, and he's like the ultimate Decepticon. And there's a shit ton of them, and it's quite entertaining. It's not great.
I was really surprised you put like such a merciless killer into a children's cartoon.
A sadistic, horrible, mutilating killer. It's perfect for a child's cartoon.
Why not?
It's what they all have. Why not? And then again, in the 90s, didn't they? Cartoons went a bit more hardcore there, and bad guys really were bad guys. Cartoons were darker, and the good guy didn't always win. People died and stuff like that in those cartoons. But that all started with Transformers the movie.
Do you ever think of Sawboss? Do you never think of Sawboss being an eco warrior, really?
Or being part of the Stop Oil lot, shading himself in the tree.
You want this to be the next Decepticon leader?
Are you saying Sawboss is the leader of Greenpeace?
I don't want to
think maybe.
Have we gone well off topic now?
Right. No. Right. Okay. So what I meant was, if you took a character outside of Transformers, like Skeletor or Sawboss, and then made
that's what we thought you meant the first time.
No,
so then you changed the question completely and said inside.
And made him a Transformer. Who would that be? So if you had like Skeletor or like Mumbra or
now I feel sad.
I know.
Who would you have? Panther. Who would you have?
All right,
Orko
as leader of the No.
Is anyone still watching the show? How many in the chat? I'm generally worried.
Actually, there's quite a few. There's 23 people who have got nothing better to do tonight. So stay here.
You sad 23 people. You really,
Ian. No, don't dish our fans. These people are fantastic. No, I wouldn't have that.
Seriously,
I'll kick it. I'll kick him. It's fine. I have.
Don't have to come tomorrow, Jamie. It's fine.
Stop.
So what's He-Man sex appeal?
What's He-Man say? I have the arrow fire.
Wine? Oh.
Okay, so if you took the characteristics of another bad guy and
this is so off the discussion we were having.
Who would be? This is what I meant. Who would be the next big Megatron? Which character? So Jamie said Skeletor. Who would you be? Who would be the next big bad guy? Who would be the next big Megatron?
Can I say Skeletor as well, just to move this on?
And you and you can have movie characters. So you will have like the T-1000 or the bad guy from like Speed. You can do all that. So who would you have? Who would be the next big bad guy?
I've got it.
Go on.
Bagpuss. Come on, that'd be scary as hell. Bagpuss was freaky, man.
Said with such conviction.
And he's having technical difficulties right now.
Such conviction.
I was going to go with Mr. Ben, but I didn't know if anybody was old enough to get that reference apart from Pete.
That's a weird Gordon Bagpuss is older than Mr. Ben, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I think so.
I was going to say, that's well older.
You remember Mr. Ben then? Because you're a little bit younger than us, aren't you, Ian?
Yeah, no, I remember it on telly just.
I don't think we ever got that in Scottish TV. We had Glenn Michael's
Mr. Ben?
Cavalcade. No, we had this thing called Glenn Michael's Cavalcade, which was an old man speaking to a lamp. Yeah, that was fantastic.
Wasn't Super Grand Scottish? Sorry, we're going in a completely different.
Yeah, that was pish as well. Most of the Scottish stuff was pish. And then the good
Come
stuff,
on now, you had the Crankies. Don't give me that.
See, when we got the good cartoons, they put it in fucking Gaelic, so we had stuff like Captain Plantage. What the fuck? Instead of Captain Planet, because Gaelic's like, we'll make up our own words for this. Just you watch.
But did he take pollution down to zero though?
Yes.
Well, that's
in Gaelic. Yeah.
Freaking tree hugger.
So, what was our topic about where Transformers is going next? Was that the original discussion?
If this discussion is anything to go by, it's no wonder Hasbro can't figure.
I'm just wondering, if I look out my window. Is that the sun coming up? You can just see there. Is that the sun?
No, that's the reflection from your ring light, Ian.
It's a joke, Jamie. It's a joke.
Don't you worry. I'll keep it clear. Stick with me, son. You'll be okay.
It's a joke, son. It's a joke.
Don't you worry, Ian. It's a joke.
In 2 bottles of vodka clarifier is looking good tonight.
Is that how many? Are you just telling us how many bottles of vodka you'll have to drink before you molest Ian? 2 bottles of vodka in that.
I'm not cheap. You got to work for it.
Like molest, it's such a strong word on social media. I don't know. I feel like we need to stop the show before we get arrested. Mate.
We are. I'm looking for something.
Are you just really pleased we haven't mentioned any Rise of the Beast spoilers?
Well, right. We did well.
Oh, in fact, we haven't even really discussed Rise of the Beast at all.
So for those who haven't seen Rise of the Beast, it's really good. The trailers, I'll say it, the trailers do not give anything away because it's completely different. You will not see anything. Most things you see in the trailers do not appear in the movie. It's different storylines of it.
Oh yeah, there are. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you'll be surprised of the way. You'll be entertained of the way, and there are some funny moments. There are some sad moments, but overall, it's a very good movie, and we appreciate your feedback. Right now, we're going to say goodnight.
You have to make it sound like a church clip. Why the fuck are you saying goodnight? You weren't hosting fuck all.
On BT.
People out of the chat.
Make a move extreme. Shortcut to your dreams. A blow straight to the stars on that flying thing. Getting snow blanking. Pikachu, Chickapoo in the world beyond. Got a beat, got a heat on the phony string. Tear your world apart. Once the magic starts. Do you really wanna taste it? What's going on must come down. Baby, you're losing ground. You'll soon become the mirror, realize the whole is wrong. You're dancing where your blinkers on. For your goal, the invisible bone. Do you really wanna taste it? What's going on must come down. Baby, you're losing ground. You'll soon become the mirror, realize the whole is wrong. You're dancing where your blinkers on. For your goal, the invisible bone.
So, guys, I just want to say thank you for tuning in this weekend. To hopefully the wedding tomorrow is a fantastic event, and I wish all the happiness to Alfire, who's a fantastic guy and a great member of this wonderful community, which we all have a privilege of being in, apart from Andy. I hope he just burns in hell.
Don't worry, you got to be wrong sometimes, Jenny. Anyway, go on.
I'm not wrong.
Hot rod hater.
Love you all. Goodbye and have a fantastic weekend.
Night.